Hello, everyone. I am a middle school teacher at MOVA and just looking at consistent concerns and questions within the new Canvas portal. I wanted to make hopefully a user-friendly email to kind of show or video to kind of show like where to go and how to navigate to help clean up some of the confusion that's out there. So one thing I do want to point out is that on my Google browser, I always have it zoomed out to about 75%. I know students with reading disabilities or have trouble seeing, they zoom it in. As you can see, like it gets really big, which is super helpful, but then I don't think it shows the clear picture. And so I scoop mine out so that I can see everything on the screen, which makes me feel better. And so, one of the things I've really noticed is there's a confusion with the calendar and the homework and where to find what's due. And so, I just want to go through that really quickly. So, if we go to calendar, and mine does look slightly different because I'm in charge of my own courses. But one thing you have to make sure, and because of screencast, I just need to move it back over. You want your child's calendar or your calendar if you're the kiddo watching this. You want every single class selected. Okay? So you want to see everything that is going on that you have due for like classes. And so the default for me has always been the month. And so you have to find today's date. I know that there is sometimes a lot on here and you can't see everything, which has brought up some frustration. And so one thing I really recommend is clicking on this agenda button, and then it will allow you to see more. Okay? So one thing you need to know as parents and students is that this calendar means it's a live class. So you need to be attending those live classes unless the teacher has out front, like it's optional. And then you and your, whoever's on your team of learning need to decide, do I need to go here and ask a question? Or do I need to stay, and keep working on my homework? There is also this homework icon or this discussion icon. And I think that's where a lot of us are becoming confused. So the teachers have this set up, especially in sixth grade, to be a reminder, like, hey, you definitely have like something worth points due that day. Okay, so that's important to know, something worth credit in the grade book. Now, as students, as parents, as teachers, we know that learning happens every single day. And so just because you don't have an assignment that's going towards the grade book does not mean you don't have something to review for that class and for that day, which is another area that there has been some confusion and some stress, I truly believe. So I'm going to move my screen back over here just a little bit. So again, calendar is only going to show you live classes and if you have a big assignment due that day. It does not mean this is the only learning you are responsible for outside of live classes during that day. Okay, so I've noticed that mine sometimes looks different than students. So I have a dashboard option to see all my classes. Sometimes, and I don't know if it's because students' cameras, or not cameras, excuse me, their portals are zoomed in too much, but sometimes I can only see this. And so you guys might need to sit down and write these little codes down. So ENG, language arts, that's English. Homeroom, orientation, you'll have stuff for science or computer lit. So for some reason, I don't always see these icons on students' portals. Again, I'm not sure if it's not just like a zoom in thing, like the program knows like you can't see them all. I'm not sure. I'm not an expert. I'm just sharing what I think will help us. But let's pretend this is the default for students. What I want us to do is go into English class. Now, just like in middle school and you're walking down that hallway, every teacher has their own way of doing things. So just because what I have set up is not exactly the way Miss Castle has it or Mr. Farnsworth, and that is okay. I'm going to show you multiple different things here. So if you are in my English class, you can scroll down. I have lots of things here. You can get the homework of the week, which is a calendar. I have been teaching students to do this in class. You can see grades, book, contact, all the stuff, right? If you have me as a student, go play around in here. But one thing I have is homework of the week. And again, not every teacher has this, but I want to share all the options with you. So I've made a digital calendar, and students need to scroll down to the day that they are working on. And then they can click the picture and it will link them to the homework. So my browser is spinning, it's loading it right now. And then boom, it takes it a second and then it brings you to what our homework is for the day. Now, that's the first way to access the homework. The second way, I'm going to go back like we just got into my class. Pretend you're here. Actually, I'm going to do this with a different class that I know I don't have set up like this. So if I go into the orientation class, I don't have it there. All I have is this informational picture for parents. So if you're like, how do I do homework in this class? There's no clear direction. That's okay. This class is just set up a little different. So for a class that does not have kind of like the clickable pictures like I had in my last example, on this left-hand side, you need to click modules. So everything you have access to needs to be completed, especially in the orientation class. Okay, so you can scroll through, you can see there's been check marks given, Miss Luster has done her work. I am ready to go as a virtual learner. So in your classes, let's go back over here. Let's go back to English class. As an entire sixth grade team, we decided to go to modules. And as you scroll down, there are dates. So this is when the assignment was given and when it was due. The school bell for the end of the day rings at 4 o'clock, and so we expect that homework to be completed by 4 o'clock. So your stories, your practice questions, your quizzes, your homework, it's all embedded in these modules. And so please, as a parent, as a learning coach, please be sitting down with your kiddos every day, every other day, once a week, whatever fits your schedule, but I wouldn't go more than once a week. You need to sit down and make sure in every single class that your child, your student, has completed all the work for that week. Because far too many times today, when I was working with students, we logged in and they had nothing done. So that's why there's confusion in our classes when we have discussions. That's why there's been poor grades on tests and quizzes, because you're not doing any of the groundwork to be ready to take that homework or to talk about those stories in class. Another thing we did as a sixth grade team is we made sure that you can't take a quiz until you've done the reading or you've done the practice problems or the learning. And that was done strategically so that we can give your student the best chance of learning and success with the materials. Okay? So that hopefully will clear a bunch of that up. There is something that I'm pretty sure almost every homeroom teacher is doing. So if you go into homeroom and where it is, it's a little bit different. Some teachers have pictures here, some have them underneath the announcements over here. But if you go in, there should be a picture of what is due. Sixth grade has grown wonderfully well. It's an amazing grade to teach in, but we have multiple teachers teaching the same subject. So with that, we have some different, our stuff mostly aligns, but students deserve to know what they have going on when in each class. So as a parent, if you want to see what your kiddo's week looks like, you can come to your homeroom class, look at the picture of when things are due, and make a list. You can print out this list. You can look at this on a picture on your phone. You can always come back to your homeroom class and it's still going to be here. So A lot of parents have expressed, I don't know how to get the homework. I don't know how to know what's due when. And hopefully this video kind of clears up some of the problems that we've been having. Do we think that this is perfect? No, we do not. But do we think that this is a step in the correct direction? Yes, we do. And so if you have questions, I encourage you to reach out. If something, um, you know, catches your eye or something comes up, let us know. We want you and your child to be successful here. We want them to learn. It's a productive struggle through the material. It's good, right? Not everything that they do should be easy or it'd be a repeat of 5th grade. And so please make sure you're sitting with your child and going through this, and that they know where to go to take care of their homework, okay? Thank you all for listening to me for 11 minutes. Bye, guys.